First here tonight from the night team, a teacher shortage at JCPS right as school will be starting next month. It is coming fast. And hello, everybody. We thank you very much for watching us here tonight. I'm Doug Proffitt. JCPS needs 362 classroom teachers. Overall, the district has 6,100 teachers in the big school district. WHAS11 night team's Alex Dederer and photojournalist Levi Hammer talked to the teachers' unions. They say the biggest issue getting teachers in the door right now is low salary.
362 teacher vacancies within Jefferson County Public Schools.
It's very scary thinking that we have this many openings.
A nationwide issue felt right here at home. Jefferson County Association of Education Support Personnel President Nicole Humphrey says 186 of those vacancies are for support staff.
There's a large portion of our support staff that still qualify for public assistance. So they're qualifying for SNAP and Medicaid, Medicare, all those types of things. Section 8 housing, and they work every single day.
Jefferson County Teachers Association President Maddie Shepard says more than 80% of the teachers at JCPS have a graduate degree, but their salaries don't reflect that, saying, quote, "When you pair the fact that teachers have less agency and are making less money with the fact that more is required of us, of course we have a shortage."
We can't even recruit them at the salary that they're offering.
JCPS says they're bringing in a staffing agency to help fill 150 of these roles.
How can we best spend those funds in the right places to get and to not only get, but to retain staff members?
And with a $150 million budget cut over the next 2 years looming, new JCPS Superintendent Brian Yearwood told us Monday that when it comes to cutting corners in the district, these are his non-negotiables.
We must protect our classrooms. We must protect our teachers. We must ensure that regardless of whatever cuts are made, it does not take away from a high-quality learning environment.
Tuesday night, the board approved a teacher apprenticeship program through U of L that allows JCPS high school students to earn college credit.
I think that does bring people into the profession earlier, and I think certainly it's something that students find attractive.
Dean of U of L's College of Education and Human Development, Tabitha Greer-Reed, sees this partnership between JCPS and U of L that has lasted years just getting stronger. In hopes of filling the more than 300 job positions, JCPS is holding a job fair here at the Center for Professional Learning this Friday from 10 in the morning to 2 p.m. In Louisville, Alex Dederer, the WHAS11 night team, on your side.
Across Kentucky, there are hundreds of vacancies, and a recent report from Kentucky's Education Commissioner, Robbie Fletcher, shows that there were more than 1,700 openings when school began last year in our state. Fletcher goes on to say that 13% of those vacancies remain unfilled. Fletcher says that the district leaders felt the quality of applicants for the 2024-2025 school year were either similar or lower quality to candidates from previous years. In the state of Indiana, there are nearly 2,000 vacancies right now listed on the Indiana Department of Education's job board. New tonight, the Galt House in downtown Louisville on the Ohio River is shining pink, honoring Crystal Rogers in the verdict that is sending her killer, her ex-boyfriend, Brooks Houck, to prison. A judge a day after justice was delivered in this trial of the decade in Kentucky. Brooks Houck found guilty of murdering his girlfriend, Crystal Rogers, 10 years ago. Plus, Joseph and Steve Lawson also found guilty of conspiring to commit the murder with Brooks Houck. The Galt House says they're now rallying with Crystal's family.
We're a family-owned entity, and we've always stood up and shown our support for the community when things happen within our community, and it was just a small token of something that we could do to show that support.
Of course, that mystery has captivated the community for 10 long years, and the scene yesterday as the Ballard family arrived back in Bardstown was something to see. People wrapped around the courthouse there after learning about the guilty verdict. Community leaders in Bardstown have been supporting the Ballard family through it all, including the Nelson County Sheriff, Raymond Penaroa. The sheriff's office was the first on the investigation back then when Rogers was first reported missing in July of 2015. Penaroa still has Crystal's missing poster hanging on the front door.
That will stay there as long as I'm the sheriff. We got a conviction, but we got to bring her home.
Do you think the jury got it right?
1,000%. 1,000%.
Do you think this community is safer after yesterday's verdict?
It is.
Pennaroa says it was his idea to bring the FBI into the case back in 2020. The sheriff saying they needed fresh eyes, so he sent a letter asking for help. He says for this community, the verdict is a win, but the work isn't finished, and he looks forward to the day America's most beautiful small town gets to reclaim that reputation. That work could mean more convictions for the Houck's family. The prosecution had already said that both Brooks' mother, Rosemary Houck, and his brother, Nick Houck, are unindicted co-conspirators. WHAS 11 News legal analyst, attorney Nick Mudd, who's also a former prosecutor, telling us we'll have to wait to see if charges will be brought against the two.
It's hard to say what they would be charged with. It could be conspiracy to commit murder. We don't know. But the problem is they have to go based on the evidence they have. And we just don't know yet what evidence they do have. I would say if they get charged, it would be within the next 6 months to a year. Could be sooner, could be later.
The case of Crystal Rogers is among other murder cases in Bardstown believed tied to her, including her own father, Tommy Ballard, and Bardstown police officer Jason Ellis in 2013, all still unsolved. Mudd telling us even if there is a connection, it could still be a while before we see anything happening with those cases.
I mean, people have worked thousands and thousands of hours on this, and the question is, are those resources going to be available to switch focus? Because it's not as simple as saying, okay, we think you're involved too, we're just going to charge you. It's not that simple.
Sentencing for Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson scheduled for Thursday, August 21st. But Mudd tells us he expects there to be a motion for a new trial filed before sentencing can happen. Now, to see our full interviews with both legal analyst Nick Mudd and the Nelson County Sheriff, just go to our website, WHAS11.com. There you can find a big recap of the entire trial and keep up with the latest information on the Crystal Rogers case. Well, brand new here tonight on the Night Team, the man who fired Nick Houck from the Bardstown Police Department has himself now been arrested. Former Bardstown Police Chief Rick McCubbin was recently charged with domestic violence, assault, and harassment here in Louisville. McCubbin, who served as Chief of Police in Bardstown and then Shepherdsville, and before that was on the Louisville Police Department, was arrested last month, according to court documents. Arrest citations say McCubbin got into a verbal altercation that turned physical. Court documents say he allegedly grabbed one victim by the arms and pinned her to the wall. When a second victim tried to stop him, he threw her off of him and then onto the bed. McCubbin fled the scene, according to court documents, and Louisville Metro Police was called in. Now, we contacted McCubbin tonight for a statement, and he said that one would be coming after his court appearance tomorrow. Right here on the Night Team, Nulu business owners in Louisville telling WHAS 11 News they're thankful for the increased police presence in the area the past few weekends after 2 weekends of attempted street takeovers. Police promised to increase their presence in the area after meeting with the business owners. LMPD said that they had an extra 15 or so officers stationed nearby on the 4th of July weekend. Nulu businesses also saying they're doing their part, in some cases hiring their very own security for some of those overnight hours. Hotel Genevieve is doing just that.
I have added an off-duty officer starting this weekend to help during those peak times where, there could be a street party that might want to turn up and, to help, keep that from occurring.
LMPD has also beefed up details along Bardstown Road and Waterfront Park amid a continued staffing shortage. We asked how sustainable that would be in the future.
We need the community's help in dealing with juvenile crime. Ultimately, it is the parents and the community's responsibility to take care of this. And you're selling these kids short. You're putting them in a position where their potential, their future is already cut short because of the activities they're involved in. And we want to make sure that they have a safe, healthy childhood where they can grow and be prosperous and be a part of a vibrant community that we're all proud of.
Now that's Metro Police Chief Paul Humphrey with a message to Louisville parents about teenage crime, violent crime specifically. Humphrey stressing the importance of parental presence in a child's life and being very involved. Meantime, at Louisville Shawnee Park, a basketball court that plays host to the Dirt Bowl. The famed Dirt Bowl was hit by vandals overnight. You can see the damage right here. Damage by what appears to be from a vehicle that did donuts right on the basketball court. Newly painted as well. The Dirt Bowl is in the current season right now being played, and officials aren't sure how the vandalism will affect gameplay this weekend. Metro Park says video surveillance shows the incident happening around 6:30 to 7 a.m. this morning by a black Dodge. Community leaders calling it a disappointment.
I was disgusted. I was mad.
Very disappointed to see this random act of vandalism.
I see hate.
I see a person that doesn't have love for themselves or for these kids.
In a statement, Louisville Metro Parks condemned the action, saying in part, destroying the basketball courts where Louisville's legendary Dirt Bowl tournament is held isn't just senseless vandalism, it's an attack on a sacred community tradition. These courts, the statement goes on to say, are more than pavement and hoops. They're a home for history, pride, and opportunity. After a nearly year-long investigation, the Kentucky Legislative Ethics Commission has found probable cause that Kentucky State Representative Daniel Grossberg of Louisville did violate the ethics code. It was yesterday members voted that Grossberg made intimidating statements, attempted to gain contributions in exchange for favors, and had inappropriate interactions with women in the state capitol. A public hearing will be set up for a future date. The commission has offered Grossberg and his attorneys the opportunity to attempt to file an agreed settlement in the case.